Let me go to Ted Cruz, but I'm not even going to address him as senator because we're not going to talk politics at all. We're just going to talk about good things happening, and good things happening with not just one side of the aisle, but both. Hey, Ted, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Glenn?
Very good, very good. So tell me, you actually started doing a challenge thing, and I think this started years ago with the ice water challenge, which was to bring awareness. And I thought, okay, but this is actually different. This is challenging people to do something good, and some big names on both sides of the aisle have stepped up and completed it. Tell me the idea and what's happened.
Well, sure. This is something that we launched right after Easter, and I teamed up with Kirsten Gillibrand, a Democratic senator from New York. The two of us launched it on the same day, and it's called the Combat COVID-19 Challenge, and it is modeled after, as you noted, the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS.
Hmm.
But in this instance, what we did is went out and tried to do something to help the community get through this crisis, something to make a difference, and do it in a way that's safe. So, in my instance, I went to the Houston Police Officers Union and brought breakfast tacos and coffee and served them breakfast. Did it while social distancing with a mask, and then they were just starting their shift and getting ready to
Hmm.
go out into the community. And I just said thank you to the men and women, the officers, and then challenged three others to do the same. And I challenged Houston's mayor, Sylvester Turner. I challenged Rick Perry. And then I challenged legendary Houston businessman Mattress Mac, the three of them, to go do the same thing. Go make a difference in the community, go help someone, and challenge three more people to do it. And we've seen this now go viral online as person after person after person has done something, whether giving blood or providing food or making contributions to a food bank or doing whatever they can to help the community safely get through this crisis.
And so, what are the things that, let's have you compliment people that are on the opposite side of issues. Here's Kirsten Gillibrand. Tell me what she did.
So she went and provided food for local providers in her community as well, and we coordinated. Kirsten and I have worked together on a lot of matters together. We've been, especially sexual assault in the military. She's passionate about fighting sexual assault, as am I, and so we've had a long time bipartisan collaboration on that issue. And so when we got this idea, I picked up the phone and called Kirsten and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this jointly together?" And she agreed. She was enthusiastic. I also reached out Sylvester Turner, the mayor of Houston. He
Hmm.
is a Democrat and also a good friend. I've worked with Sylvester
And
on many issues.
he's to say that he's a Democrat is, I don't want to make this political, but he is not in your camp at all on many, many, many issues. He's a big
That's
city
true.
Democrat.
Although Sylvester and I have a very good working relationship, and I'll tell you, some
Sure.
of it is because we went through Hurricane Harvey together, and
Yeah.
in a time of crisis. I mean, I talked to Sylvester almost every day during and right after Hurricane Harvey, and we saw in Texas, one of the reasons Texas was able to come through what was the second most costly natural disaster in U.S. history and comes through so well is that we saw real bipartisan cooperation. We saw Democrats, Republicans, state officials, local officials, federal officials all working hand in hand. And I think that foundation is
Yeah.
helpful now dealing with this pandemic and these crises we have right now.
So I tell you, Ted, we seem to only learn this during crisis, that we're not that different. We're always concentrating on what separates us instead of what brings us together. And, we shouldn't have problems with people on the other side of the aisle. I mean, assuming that they're, not, horrible mass murderers or whatever. But because of their policies, we shouldn't have a problem with them because we never do when it comes to a crisis. It doesn't matter how liberal or conservative you are. When an American sees somebody that is in need, they respond.
You're exactly right. One story I've told from the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey is that the Houston City Council invited me to address them and invited Sheila Jackson Lee, who is also a Democrat, quite liberal. She and I together testified side by side together before the Houston City Council, where we both said, listen, today there are no Republicans, there are no Democrats. We are united, we are one, we are Texans, we are Americans. And one of the city council members pointed out that it so happened that Sheila that day was wearing red and I was wearing blue. And so the two of us turned and hugged each other, which led me to joke that we may have simultaneously ended both our political careers. But look, that